Welcome to the Gratitude and Attitude Podcast, an organic and sometimes hilarious ongoing conversation between two soul sisters who have a lot of gratitude and sometimes a little bit of attitude. Welcome to the Gratitude and Attitude Podcast. I'm Pri.
I'm Nan.
And today we have
Carlos,
you're in the house, yo.
Hello, everyone. Let's get the party started.
Yeah, let's get this party started.
It's not a party without you, Carlos.
It really isn't.
I like that. How did you see it?
I know. Just for anyone who can't see on the camera, we have like a bunch of framed photos with all of us in there. And Carlos is part of the Gratitude and Attitude posse. So he's in a very big picture in there.
Carlos, we made the wall in Priya's house.
You made the wall.
I made it too. I've been friends with her.
She's been around 30 years. You've been around 30 months.
Oh.
So,
yeah.
High five.
High five.
You don't have to sound so bitter.
I always tell her, where's a picture of me in your house?
Yeah. Yeah. I have plenty of pictures of you. I do now.
But not out.
Only after I put Carlos up there.
Oops.
That's right. It's all good.
So today we are talking about, the topic is friends, family by choice.
Yep.
And last week number 9, episode 9, we talked about toxic friends, people who are toxic, dealing with toxic people is what the topic sentence was. Today, we thought, as the second part of that conversation, we've shared how to identify people who should not be your friend. But then we talked about, let's do an episode with who should be, who we should be seeking out, who we should be as human beings to have amazing friendships. So I think it's going to be a really good conversation.
Yeah.
And you have all your notes on your phone, right?
I do.
That's what you're looking at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so any stories that anybody has that's relevant about finding an amazing friend, having the best friends?
Amazing story. I don't know if I have amazing
No.
stories.
Any stories about amazing friends?
Oh, about I thought you meant how we got amazing friends. Well, I think the topic kind of says a lot.
Yeah.
You know, family by choice.
Yeah.
You know, your friends.
Yeah.
You know, you're born into a family, but you get to pick the friends that you want them to be family.
Right.
I think that's even more valuable.
Yeah, it really is. I'll tell you, I've been thinking a lot about it, and it got me thinking that I'm very, very lucky. I feel so grateful for the incredible friends in my life. And I've been single all my life. I never got married. And now, I met my sweetheart. And so that narrative in my life is going to change. But I feel like God gave me the best of friends, like over the course of my lifetime. And some of them have kind of diminished with the season, but I'm very lucky. I have 2 or 3 people who are like, have been there forever and who know me and who I know them. And I feel like a good friend is a gift from the Lord, like a really special gift because they do something no one can do. So anyway, I spent like the last week thinking about this and feeling this incredible gratitude because God has gifted me with these amazing friends. And I called one of them this morning and I just told her, I was like,
I wonder who that was.
I know. I was like, I'm so thankful
Was it you, Carlos?
for you, Carlos.
It wasn't me.
So thankful for you, Carlos. But the other part of it is like when you have a conversation like this, or you're going to be leading a conversation like this in a podcast, which, episode 10.
Yeah.
We're like,
In the
10.
double digits.
10 double digits. I don't know. I just thought it's a wonderful time to reflect and kind of consider that. And maybe something that as you're watching us, you can do a little introspection and see, do you have that friend in your life? I have a friend of mine whose daughter has always said, this is my best friend from college. And her daughter's always said, I don't know, I want a best friend like you have, Mom. And we've been like tight since our freshman year at college. And that doesn't happen very often. It's because she's so special. I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. She's pretty amazing. But her daughter is struggling sometimes when she thinks, I don't have a bestie like that. And it's so rare, you know, like I feel for her, you know, and anyone who may be watching and going, do I have one of those? But the goal for this conversation is to come up with how to pick well, right?
Yeah. Well, it's harder later in life to find those friends. I mean, you can, but it's harder.
Yes.
It really is. You have to be extremely lucky to find that type of friendship as you're older.
Right.
You know, I've been lucky myself. Like I have a lot of friends still. You say college. I have a lot of friends that I still connect with from middle school.
I know.
I mean, you know, some of them, you know, we're really close.
I know.
So there's difference. So like those girls are some of my best friends.
Yeah.
But like Priya's my soul sister. It's a different connection also too. It's different.
Yeah.
But I'm very lucky. You know, people come up to me, they're like, I can't believe you guys all still see each other. Like you get together.
Yeah.
There's probably like maybe 5 of us that we still get together. You know, and maybe I'm really close with maybe 2.
Yeah.
But we still get together and go to dinner, or we try to celebrate each other's birthdays at least, you know. Some of us are better at remembering than others and some aren't. But there's always a ringleader that tries to get them together. But I think as I got older, because I've met you as I was older, you know, and we became extremely close. This is why it's so rare. It's very, very, very rare friendship.
28
soul
years?
sister.
28 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
Very
28.
20.
Yeah. So, you know, we are older, you know, but I just think, that's definitely a blessing from God, for sure, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But you're right. I look at some people sometimes that don't have any friends, and I just think, well, okay, some people are more introverts, I guess that's a word. So some people don't really need the friends. I mean, there are people who don't need it.
Right.
You know, and some people do. On the one hand, I have to have friends in my life.
Right.
You know, but it's definitely a blessing. What about you, Carlos?
Yeah.
Do you have any friends from your past or that you still stay in contact with that you're close to?
My very best friend, he passed away years ago.
I didn't know that.
He died from cancer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He was my very, very best friend. And I got to know early how it feels to have a good friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I got to know that. But was only one guy. And then after that, few years before now, like 5 years ago, I began to get new friends again in my life.
Yeah.
Including you both.
Yeah. You better count us. You better count us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have not too many. Probably I can count all my very good friends with one hand.
Yeah.
And I may still have a spare space for another one.
Aww.
Yeah, but you know, it's
so sweet.
after my
so
my 30s, the thing is I began to make the differentiation with a regular friend, somebody you know and hang out
Acquaintances.
sometime now and then.
Yeah.
And somebody you can really trust.
Yeah.
Somebody you can rely on, and you know that it's mutual. You know,
Right.
I think that's actually one of the things, one of my notes is sort of differentiating between a buddy and a bestie. Like, and you can have more than one best. Like people think there's only one, but we relate to people in different ways. We connect in different times of our lives in different ways. And I think it's hard to have a lot of them, but if you have even one or more than one, like you have, that's pretty special.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. So do you have some things that you want to talk about today about picking like friends who become family by choice, or, you know, how do you want to start?
Well, I don't know if it's picking.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, family by choice is something that we get to decide.
Yeah.
But I don't think like we go out and say, okay, well, I'm going to start looking
for
a friend that I can make family.
I think more or less it worked that way.
Well, no, but I think what happens is people come in your life and then you can see like, oh, you know, we're like family, you know? But Yeah, I don't think like I go looking, you know, but I feel as I've gotten older that I don't need as many friends as I used to also. You know what I mean? Like I don't need as many.
Yeah.
But it's hard sometimes. I mean, keeping friendships too, because any type of relationship you have takes work. We talked about that before. It could be a relationship with God, a relationship with your spouse, your kids, whatever. It takes work too. But I mean, you do have friends that you don't talk to for a long time, but you can talk to them, you know, then you talk and it feels like you know, have not
just yesterday.
Yeah. But I don't know if those are the friends you tell everything to.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I think it depends. Like, I'll tell you, my number one, like, just to organize the conversation a little bit, like, for me, what I wrote here was, like I have 2 rules of friendship.
Great.
Rule number 2 is pick true friends. Rule number 1 is be a true friend.
That's what I was going to say. You have to be able to be a true friend first to know how to, you know, find or, you know, a true friend.
Right. And then the second part of the what were you going to say?
Or acknowledge that person could be a true friend. I don't mean like, you know, I hate to use the word find and, you know, but.
Well, I think for you, it sounds like when you use those words like pick or find or select, it feels not as organic and sort of like, for me, I am deliberate about friendships. Like I don't go, hey, I need a best friend because I have them and I've had them forever. But I do think that what happens to a lot of people is that you think it's an organic thing that sort of kind of happens. And then you miss seeing who might be toxic or finding who might be perfect. That seems complicated, that water thing. That seems super, oh my God.
Oh, your notes.
Yeah, your notes.
Yeah, those are my notes, just to let you know. And my water. That looks like a gallon.
Back to the conversation.
Okay, go.
So for you, it sounds like, picking seems sort of like non-organic. It seems like sort of like deliberate. Of course, with someone like me who has OCD and is very planned about everything in my life, I'm like, I picked that person. They were amazing. I'm really, really glad. Not because I was like, I want to be your friend, but more like as time. So one of my things is time and proximity is what creates incredible relationship. Either with your spouse, for me with my boyfriend, for any of us with friends, you have to spend time together and you have to be in physical contact. And there's like a whole section of my notes, which is about how social media is destroying friendships.
Wow.
Because,
I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
Because there's no way to do a deep friendship with someone via texting or via Instagram.
Yeah, I can't
Like,
say
you
that. We
can't
already
do
talked
it.
about that.
I know.
It's awful. It takes away the human connection.
Right. And
it's
that's the second part. So you need to have time with somebody.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time talking about the podcast, planning it, like getting ready for it. Like we have now created like a cool little thing where we all sit down, we have a cup of coffee together, we catch up.
Yeah.
We talk about, here's what I found I was thinking about this over the week. But it's a really nice little community that we have, the three of us, right, in this room. But time and proximity are requisites to finding a good friend. And then it's not something for me that just sort of, this person's my best friend. It requires some deliberation and effort. And I think that's one of the things, like, I have like 6 secrets of strong friendship, how to build friendships, like the 3 C's of friendships. There's so many people have so many opinions on it, but they tend to follow the same line, right?
Yeah. So when you say that about yourself, but this is just me observing you.
Yeah.
But you don't go out and pick, if they still have to be a part of your community. It has to be a part of your group.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what I was saying was, I don't go, I'm going to go out and find a best friend.
No, it's still, like I was saying, it still has to be a part of whether you're introduced by somebody or that kind of stuff.
It is. Thank you for making sure I don't sound like a serial killer.
No, but I'm like, she doesn't go out and pick
No, but I'm saying there is a portion of it where you go, I really want to get to know that person better.
But you've already been introduced and you've already kind of know. Yeah.
Like, thanks for covering me. That's what I said I don't do.
No, you don't do.
Yeah,
but
I don't do that.
right. And that's what I was saying. I don't do either. Like we both don't do that.
It's like you are in the line about to buy something, and then Priya gets closer to you and say, "Do you want to be my friend?"
And I'll be like, interesting.
That's how we met. I approached her in the grocery.
She whispered over my shoulder, "Would you like to be my friend?"
Okay.
I'm like, well, what kind of friend would you like me to be?
That's what we're talking about, right?
No, but listen, I have a story. I have a
Okay.
story. When I was in New Mexico with Bo on our little vacation, I was standing in, I chipped a filling.
Oh, okay.
So I still have to get that taken care of. But I went into this like Walgreens in, where was it? It was Albuquerque. And I was in there and a woman who was standing behind me in the line.
She said, "I want to be your friend."
No. No. But she had wonderful energy. And she goes, "Oh my God, I love your jeans."
Oh, okay.
And I was wearing sort of these big baggy jeans, like fun jeans. And I said, "Oh, thank you." And I said, "I got them at Free People." By the way, everybody, we did not get paid by Free People.
Good
to
Lord.
shout out to Free People. We have no viewers, let alone sponsors yet. So I just want you to know. I was wearing a pair of jeans from Free People. Anyway, started chatting with the woman.
I think everyone's going to know that you don't sponsor. Nobody sponsors us.
So funny.
We're good, and we're not plugging anybody. Okay,
We don't plug anybody for money. We just
go. She definitely makes that clear.
I just want to make sure people know it's like a true endorsement. I do wear Free People jeans.
You do.
So anyway, the woman said, "I love your jeans." And I started talking with her and she had great energy.
Yeah.
And she said, "Have you just do you live here? Have you just moved to town?" And I said, "No, I don't." And she said, "Oh, if you did, I work right up at the hospital. My name's so-and-so." She said, "I would have asked you to coffee."
I want to hang out. So she's asking you to be her friend.
Exactly. But not in "I want to be your friend."
And Priya would be like, no.
Well, I'm very shy
She
and
would be like,
introverted.
"I'm not meeting this lady. I don't know her. What if she's just crazy person?"
No, actually, I liked her. She
In
was
2
cool. You would
minutes?
have liked her. You would have liked her. Anyway,
That's
bottom line
Yeah,
is,
yeah, I get it.
I
I
mean,
get what you're
yes,
saying. That was
that's-
nice of her. That was nice. But
That
how
was-
many
that-
times do people really do that?
That was something nice.
It was nice.
it was nice, but people don't do that.
Yeah, but you got to be careful still nowadays. You just don't know. I
know.
They might have seen. Did you have your watch on?
No. No, she was just a really nice lady.
Okay.
I was telling you a story about how some people
Are kind.
strike
I
up
agree.
conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but you're right. I mean, sometimes
It's the
You
rarity.
can, right, and sometimes you can make that strong connection with somebody very easy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
maybe that was that moment.
Yeah, and I think being open to it.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
and being ready for it is
Yeah.
part of what it is. But back to the subject
Yeah.
at hand. So finding or making good friends. What would you say? Let me just start with you and then I want to hear from Carlos. What are some of the secrets of a strong friendship that you would share?
Well, I think for me, for a strong friendship, you both have to be. It has to be reciprocated. It has to be. So it's very important.
Yeah.
Because if it's not, then that's not good.
Right.
You can't be the giver all the time and that person be the taker, or vice versa.
Vice versa. Yeah.
But I think you have to both be loyal.
Yeah.
Loyal
So
to me
good.
is very important.
Yep.
You both have to listen really well.
Yeah.
If you're not a good listener and you just kind of always want to interrupt,
Yeah.
like I do here on podcasts, don't count that.
you don't
I'm a great
interrupt.
listener. I think
You
I
are.
am.
You're a
Yes,
wonderful
yes,
listener.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Remember,
she
I
is.
always ask if you want my opinion first.
Yeah,
Do
but
I use that quite often?
Well, that's not the same thing
No,
as
I
being a
know.
good listener.
I know.
Yeah.
But being a good listener, being loyal, I think even on here, I have some on here, but this is good. Being willing to change sometimes for that person.
So that actually, let's actually drill down. Before you even get into the secrets of friendship,
Oh, I got a
being
good one. I have
a
a good
good
one after. I
friend,
can't forget.
being a good friend is it. That's the first.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I had a friend in my life who was like, "I have no friends," and I was like, honestly, because you're not a good friend.
Gosh.
That was a hard conversation,
Yeah.
but I was like, you will not have friends until you are a good
Yeah.
friend. So what makes you a good friend? What are some of the qualities? Those pages actually
They
talk
do,
about that.
but I have some I had some really good ones.
Okay, right.
So
Yeah, let us know.
one really big for me, several of things are big on my notes on my phone, is to celebrate their wins.
Oh, yeah.
So to celebrate when something good happens,
Yes.
or they purchase something that's unbelievable, or you want to be happy for them, like being happy, truly happy for the other person.
Yeah.
That's important because a lot of times it doesn't work that way. Sometimes there's some envy there.
Right.
And, it's important to celebrate each other's wins, no matter what they are.
Yeah.
And of course, supporting through the hard times. Another thing, of course, which we always talk about is boundaries, respecting each other's boundaries to a certain degree. Be honest and not harsh. Forgiveness, apology when you're wrong.
Yeah.
So good. Like these are really good things to have a strong relationship.
To be that person first.
Yes, you have to be that person first, but to find that other person
who shares those qualities.
that.
Yeah.
And it's not easy.
Yeah.
And making time for each other, like you said, spending time together.
Yeah.
And you're able to be yourself. So important.
Authenticity.
Yeah, because a lot of times you're around people and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't be myself. I got to just be careful what I say. I can't say that. I can't do this. That person. I personally don't like to be around that.
Yeah.
I don't. It's too much work.
I can't even imagine you being that way.
There are times when I'm around it's exhausting. There are times where I'm around some people that it's true because you have to just, it's exhausting not being yourself.
I can't even imagine either of you. You're so yourselves. Like, that's one of the things I love about being with you.
No, there are times where, unfortunately, it's appropriate for me not to be myself. In certain circumstances, let's just say I'm not around, like I'm around acquaintances that I have to not, be my crazy self. I mean, I'm not going to say something rude, but you know how I am.
Yeah.
I'm silly.
No, you're funny.
And then there's times where,
yeah.
like my husband says, you're weird.
Yeah, but he's the one who's weird.
He's like, you're so weird. He tells me all the time. I said, but if I wasn't weird, you wouldn't love me. Trust me. I keep it exciting. He looks at me like I'm crazy. And he says it weird in a good way. Because,
sweet. It's actually sweet.
Yeah. Not in a mean way by any means. He's like, you're just so weird.
If I'm ever there, I go, you're the weird one. We're the normal ones.
But I think those qualities really make for a very good friendship.
Being weird is always about perception.
Oh,
perception.
Yeah.
That's the takeaway.
Well, you may think I'm weird, but I'm not weird. You're weird because
it's your perception. Your perception is weird.
Your perception was weird. I guess not.
And weird is not even the word he should call me.
Yeah, what should he call you? Crazy.
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 Yeah. Exciting. You're so exciting.
I'm going to tell him. I'm going to go. I got a helpful hint for you.
But that's my, opinion on how to be a good friend and that other, to attract a good friend.
Yeah.
But.
And I think that's the Steve Harvey stuff that you said, the 3 qualities.
No, they're from ChatGPT.
Okay, what about this?
But willing to change, be real. It's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Be willing to change. Oh, yeah, I've already said that.
Yeah.
Oh, and I do have to say something just to kind of go off a little bit. So remember we were talking about ChatGPT the other day, and I was saying about scrolling down your things. Well, it does that when you're looking up different things in the same time.
Yep.
So when you close it, but all you got to do is go to the corner and then it'll show you what you looked up.
That is wonderful.
But I was wrong about it always staying there, but you always can go back.
Be willing to admit that you're wrong. Is that one of the qualities?
Yeah, see? That's why I'm such a good friend. You are. I'm correcting my mistake.
It doesn't happen frequently, but it happens.
Yeah.
Now and then.
Well, because we were talking about that, I'm like, well, I know I've scrolled back and they're all there, but in the same session as I kept the tab open.
Right.
But you still can go back and look, which anyway.
That's good. It's good to know the little.
I just wanted to.
We love ChatGPT. Also,
myself.
We're not getting paid for any endorsements of ChatGPT.
What are we going to do about her? We're going to put like a sensor. You know the black sensor?
I got big tape across my face.
All right.
Back to friendships. Okay. Back to friendships, like finding friends who are family by choice.
Yes.
So we've talked about some of the qualities. Carlos, what do you think some of the qualities you have to have are to be a good friend so that you can have good friends?
Probably I will be just complimenting what Nancy just say, but I will speak from my experience. in the latest years. For example, now when I get to know someone, sometimes I get to know somebody very nice. He doesn't live close to me, probably hours away from where I live, and then I have to be honest with myself. I have to tell me, will I be able to grow up a friendship with this person?
Yes.
Will I have the time enough to travel, or that person to travel back and forth?
Right.
Yes.
Oh, but I know over the phone is complicated. And now, when you realize that time is your biggest asset, you have to be very careful how you use your time.
That's so true.
And something else that I see is very important is pretending. When you have to be with someone and you have to pretend somebody that you are not, it might be fun for a little bit, but then when you have to stop doing what you like to do to go and share time with that person, you won't feel. Eventually, you can lie yourself a little bit, but eventually, you won't go back, and there's nothing to do there.
Yeah.
So you have
good.
to. If that person
That's
probably
so
live close to you, it's something very important. Sometimes is what stage of their life are each one. Let's say I'm 43
Very good.
years old. I can be friends with somebody that's 18. It's going to be more difficult because we are in different stage. Probably the conversations, everything's going to be very different.
Yes.
They're going to want you to party.
That's something, yeah, absolutely, and that's something that you have to
Yeah.
take in consideration.
So good.
Before
Kids.
you invest your time
Yeah.
getting new friends, and also you have to take in consideration what do you want for life. You like to learn something new every day. You like to you hang out and talk
Same
about
interest is what you're saying.
same interest. Yeah, so that's a lot of stuff that you have to take in consideration before you begin
really
to
good.
grow up a new friendship.
Right. That is so good, though. It's such a great point, Carlos, because if you're in a different stage of your life,
Right.
so like if you're, have friends who their kids are small and they're going to t-ball and they're going to soccer and you don't have kids, or you're in a different, you're older and your kids are grown, it does make it hard because you're living two different lives.
Right.
That's
So
a great
good.
point.
Yeah, it's difficult.
it is.
Sometimes I was sharing some time with a cousin of mine, and he's 18 years old or something, and sometimes he doesn't keep his word. He says something because for him it's different. He might not be mature enough to know that your word has to have weight.
Yeah, you still got to learn.
So I can't stand on that. So I say, okay, you do as you please, but I know that for me, investing more time with you is going to be difficult because there's so many stuff that we don't agree on.
Oh, it's so smart. Yeah.
That's great points.
Yeah.
Good job, Carla.
Yeah.
So good.
Really,
You're so
really,
smart.
really good.
You got some great input.
Yeah, I mean, you're smart and you're wise.
Yeah.
And I love your input.
What about you? So let's hear yours. So did you tell us all yours? No, you didn't.
I don't think I did. So I will tell you, there's a few. I actually wrote. I'm glad you asked that question.
Yeah.
Okay. Number one, either picking or first and foremost, I think that like attracts like. So a wise person will attract a wise person. A kind person will attract a kind person. I think last week we talked about toxic people, and that's where, like, if you're kind, someone's drawn to it because they want to take from you. But I think actually the friendships that are tried and true that last forever, I would say there's the same approach to life and a likeness in the way that you do life that bonds you to that person, and that you become close, and that you learn to share what matters and to be authentic. It has to start with being the kind of person that you want to draw, that you want to be friends with. So one of the things is, because there's two parts of this. One is being that friend. Another is drawing that friend, becoming friends with that person. And one of them is, if you have the same approach to life, what does that mean for me? It means, and this might be a little controversial, but I serve the Lord. I love God. I can talk about Jesus all day long. And so who are my best, closest friends? They all love the Lord. So that's one thing that I have that's like. Another thing that I think is incredibly important in being a best friend is being wildly self-aware. It's looking at your own actions. It's looking at the way you behave. It's constantly turning a lens inward and having something called an observing ego. An observing ego is if you and I are having a conversation, it's being able to come out of myself and see how is this conversation actually going? Did I say anything that hurt or injured you? Do I see that in real time? That self-awareness is why I have friends who are wildly self-aware.
Yeah, I do that all the time. I'm always like, is it my ego getting in the way?
Yeah,
All the
like
time.
questioning yourself,
time.
asking yourself, checking
Yes,
yourself.
we do.
Being careful yourself, you will draw people to you who are careful with your feelings, who are listening to themselves. That self-awareness is like massively important. So same approach to life, being self-aware. And then another thing that I really believe that I have to be in order to draw the kind of best friends that I want. And I have them. Like I'm not looking for any more. I feel very lucky that I have them.
Yeah.
But it's being low maintenance. And what does low maintenance feel like? This is interesting. I was talking with one of my best friends saying, hey, Nan and I are podcasting on, like being, having a best friend, being best friends, finding best friends. And she was like, I hope that you'll mention that, that being a low maintenance friend is important. And that actually was already on my list. But what does that mean? It means not having wildly outsized expectations of the other people in your life. So I'll give you an example. I was becoming friends with someone years and years and years ago. And I'm not like I can talk for a long time on the phone, but it's very rare that I have long periods of time to talk on the phone. And she was a long talker and I was a short talker. So she called me a couple of times and I didn't answer the phone because I was like, she's going to talk for a long time. I don't have that time and I don't want to cut her off. And so probably the fifth or sixth call, she was like, what's going on? Like she was very, very direct and I was happy about that. And I said to her, we were at coffee, and I said, look, let me explain something about me. I don't have large pockets of time. If you're looking for someone who you can be on the phone with, the reason I don't pick up your call is because when you call me, it's because you want to talk for a long time.
Right.
I would love to hear what you have to say. I don't have that time or the bandwidth on that day. And I was able to be like very, very clear. No, I don't need that. She was a high maintenance friend. I was a low maintenance friend.
Right.
So low maintenance means expecting the world of that person. And then when they don't provide it, being like, I don't want to be your friend. Well, if you start by saying, I don't want someone to expect that of me, then you won't expect it of other people. And I love that this friend of mine said, make sure you mention that because there are a lot of people who look for way too much from people. They get disappointed and then they go, I can't be friends with that person. We'll actually start looking inwards and go, am I a high maintenance friend or a low maintenance friend? I mean, we've all had high maintenance friends, right?
Yeah. If it's too much work, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, that's
it's
a
too
great.
much.
That's a great point.
Right.
I have to say.
So that was it. And then the final quality was being fully present and knowing that you're with that person and you are truly listening to that friend.
Right.
You want friends who will then be fully present with you. I will tell you, you are amazingly fully present.
So are you.
Yes. No, I think
Yeah, I think we all are.
the three of us.
We always listen.
We all have our phones down. We're all looking at the other person. And I think being a fully present person then draws people who are fully present to you. Like that's my theory. And it's actually
it's
been
good.
proven true over many, many years. Like I have friends who are looking at me and listening.
Yeah. Or if, if something comes up and that you can't, like you have to answer the phone, or it's like, oh my gosh, we have to get this. Or
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's true.
but that's a very good point. Sometimes when we are together, I receive phone calls.
You do.
Stuff like that. And I decide not to take the
Yes,
phone call.
that's
I say,
right.
I can later, if it's a business call, they can send me an email.
Yeah.
If it's my wife, she knows, she can text me.
Yeah.
But I know.
We love your wife.
But I know.
You can
but,
know, but I know what
circles.
you're saying.
but I know that
if it's not emergency.
it's somebody else's time as well. It's
Yeah.
not only my time.
Yeah.
It's somebody else's time, and you have to be respectful.
Yes, that's
And I
wonderfully
see it
said.
that way.
Yeah.
You're very good. You're very good at that, though.
Yeah.
You are.
But I think that's something that we've sort of lost track of. We've sort of forgotten. And so when I was describing, like, these are the qualities: being low maintenance, being fully present, those things, when you are aligned that way, then you pick people who are aligned in the same way.
Yeah, and very important too. It's your values,
And that's where it become even more difficult.
no, but it's true.
Yeah.
But even like values, like, you know, you can,
Yes.
if your values are different, oh no, that doesn't go. You could think, oh, you know, I'm really making a connection here with this person and your friends, and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, we got totally different values.
Give us an example of that.
Well, I don't know. Let's just say
You've had someone
I've
like that.
had some.
Like, name one example.
I've had
So
one
we would
time on my
understand.
bachelorette party. I'll never forget. This one girl came. It was kind of thrown in. We were becoming friends. And she ended up hooking up with somebody while we were on my. Yeah, that was a big no-no. I was like, she's out.
Yeah.
You know. So I mean, that would be a value. With totally different values.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be one.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
But
That's a big one.
But not long ago, I got to know this guy, and I had a conversation, a few minutes with him, and seems to be a nice guy. And then he did a comment.
Yeah, and that was it, right?
He did a comment about the physical condition of somebody else, like bullying, and I don't know why.
Bullying?
Yeah, like
Just being nasty
Like
about
making
somebody.
fun of
being
somebody.
nasty about
Yeah.
the physical weight or condition of somebody else without knowing
Anything about the person?
Anything about the other person.
Yeah.
You don't know. People may have overweight for so many reasons.
Yeah.
And it's hard it's easy to judge. So when he did that comment, that went straight all the
Yes.
way into my brain.
Yeah.
And it clicked.
Yeah, you didn't like
and
it.
it clicked. I said, you know what? I won't waste
Right,
my
'cause
time
it's
because you're telling me who you really are.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's
Right.
that's a famous phrase. If someone tells you who they are,
Yes.
believe
believe them. Yeah.
That's good.
Believe
Yeah, it's true.
them.
And it could be
Yeah.
words
Yeah, maybe
or
that'd be right there.
words or actions.
Or actions.
Is when you just like, oh, not okay.
Yeah, for you, actions are like,
Well, I think sometimes, and I'm always a second chance person, you know
Yeah.
me. That's how I am.
Yeah.
But I usually get that vibe, you're like,
yeah. Well,
Not happening.
that was a good example because
Yeah, you kidding?
Because
It's
it's
tough.
like it's hard. Like when you say value system. So if you're a faithful wife, you're not going to be besties with someone who's an unfaithful wife.
yeah, and that's married
right?
and cheating or
Yeah.
whatever. No, you
Yeah.
don't. I mean,
Yeah.
like, don't get me wrong. Like, you can have a friend I'm not
Like
saying
buddies.
you.
No,
Like, no, we can.
buddies, not besties.
Right. But what
Yes.
I'm saying is like, you can have
all
a soul-
different people.
No. Soul, like you can be my soul sister. I have best friends. Sometimes in life things happens. They make bad choices.
Yeah.
Not saying I'm going to cut friendship off because of that.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you go through a really hard time.
Yeah.
Or you go through something in your life that I still need to be there for you
Right.
and help you get through it. So that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
You know what
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that person's the way that person is. You
Yeah.
know that person.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so she's just going through a hard time. She's making a really bad choice right
Yeah.
now. But I wouldn't unless it was consistent, like
That's
you've
it.
changed.
Yeah.
Like you've changed and you're becoming this person that I'm like, wow, I really can't be around this person.
Right.
But we all fall.
Right.
That's what I mean. Like we all fall and then we try to be there for each other. But what I was saying about my bachelorette party was somebody that I really didn't know extremely well, that we're just becoming friends. And that just shows you right away.
But
So like what you said.
yeah,
you
but,
know?
but going back to what Priya says, that was a nice sentence.
Yeah.
Somebody tells you
who they are, listen.
You have to believe.
Yeah.
You don't have to lie to yourself.
Right.
You have to be honest. You have to pay attention what's going on.
Believe them. They're telling you.
They're telling you right there into your face.
You never heard that quote before?
No, I never.
Yeah, it's great.
That's cool. I wrote it down.
I haven't heard it in a long time, so it's a good reminder of that.
Yeah.
Because you're more like
So what I love about you is that you give people second chances. For me, my nature is one in which somebody does something. If it establishes as a pattern, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I don't need to meet this person again. I don't need to spend time with this person. I'm just very, very like that. Like that's just how I am.
And that might save you a lot of time. That you can do something else.
And maybe I've lost some friendships along the way because I was like, nope, like that, you know? And when I was saying that, when I was using that example, it wasn't because I thought that you would judge that person. It's because for me, it's like, this is the approach to life. You know, yes, people make mistakes. And yes, like I love that you're that person who's like, well, and you don't know what you would do if you were in that situation, right? But what I love about you is that I love that you are a virtuous woman. And that like a virtuous, and someone can, listen, I've made horrible mistakes and I'm still a virtuous woman. So, and God forgave us. That's who Jesus is. That's why Jesus came. But all that to say is for me, like that's a pattern. The pattern is establishing itself. Bye.
Yeah.
You're out. I'm not doing it.
Or if they show you quickly, like if you don't, your relationship isn't established yet, and then this person is, you're like, oh, I can't open this door.
Right.
No.
And then you know what the other part of it is sometimes like, I'll tell you, years and years ago, I had a guy who was one of my best friends. And I was friends with his wife because I loved him and I wanted to, you know, like he was just a great guy. He's like a true bestie. And his wife was cheating on him. And I said to her one day, I was out with her and a bunch of girls, and I looked at her and I said, you know, I don't know that you know how your actions are being perceived, but they're harmful to your husband. And I'm his friend, so I feel like loyal
that's bad.
to him. What you're doing is really harmful. It's harmful to yourself too. And she basically like kind of was like threatening towards me, like kind of got a little bit close to me. And I thought to myself, she's about to get a big surprise if she lifts a hand against me. I just want you to know, I would have slapped her back so hard. I would have, but it didn't happen. I never She did kind of get in my face.
She was all like this, Pri?
Well, yeah, she kind of was like, you don't know, you don't. And I was like,
you called her out.
Well, basically, and I was trying to do it as nicely as possible because I was like, okay, you're doing these things with this guy in this bar. And your husband is my best friend, like one of my best friends.
Yeah, that's not cool.
I didn't even go that way. I'm like, what happened was she kind of got like in my face and I said, you got to calm down. I said this because I care about you. I'm leaving. I can't watch what's going on anymore. And I turned around and I left.
Yeah.
And I was never friends with her again.
Yeah, I could see you would not being friends with her. Absolutely.
Yeah, no.
She was putting in a position that you don't supposed to do.
And a good friend wouldn't put you in that position too.
Yeah,
That's not a good position to be put in.
Well, the other part is like true friends, they have the same approach to life. What's the approach to life? You know, like, yes, someone can make a mistake, but if they make the mistake over and over and
then
over
it's a
and
problem.
over again, which is what she was doing.
Yeah. Then you have to be like, I don't know if this friendship
it happens again.
No.
This weekend happens.
No, because like you can't.
And it keeps happening for the last 3 months.
Yeah, exactly.
It keeps happening.
I just said, I can't stay here and watch this. I'm out of here. And then eventually their marriage blew up. And I was his friend. I went with him because he didn't harm her. She harmed him.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, but I think that's good. I'm sorry.
Just an example.
No, it's a great example. And two, another thing that everyone should know, it doesn't mean that your bestie or your soul sister, you don't have disagreements.
Right.
Because we still have disagreements.
Yes, we do.
But we work through them.
So let's talk about that in terms of how do you know that someone could be your best friend when you're navigating through conflict? What kind of ways would you want that person? And we're like trying to just share a little bit, like, what are you looking for in the navigation of conflict?
I think you have to be able to talk to that person without, we talked about ego too. Like sometimes you have to be careful. Like you have to be open to listen.
Yes.
That's really important in resolving a conflict, or if you think the person is incorrect, or I'm always like, well, now let me just tell you this. Think about this for a second.
Yes, that's exactly how you do it.
We just kind of talk. You do the same, and I'm like, okay, you're right.
Yeah.
Got it. Got the point. That's usually how it works.
Yeah,
we're never really like, because the reality is, I think another thing, and we talked about before, it's the approach. You can't come out hard. You have to come out gentle. You have to speak gentle. Like
speak the truth with love. That's what Scripture says.
Exactly. Yeah. If you come out with, I'm so mad because you did this, or blah, no, it's be like, listen, the other day, I was thinking about what you said, and it kind of bothered me, and
kind of landed hard.
Yeah, you just kind of talk like that. You don't attack.
Yeah.
So when you come out with an attack attitude, you get defensive, and then that's what happens when you don't. Where it can be, unresolved, or it can get heightened. Is that a word?
No.
But
heightened. Get heightened.
There's no such thing as heightened.
I said and heightened.
Oh, okay, that makes me feel better.
I did not. I said and heightened.
Oops.
You also want a bestie when you can laugh really hard.
Oh, yeah, that is so true.
You can laugh at yourself.
That's so good.
Let's talk about
laughter.
Before we move forward to laughter, let's talk about, so Carlos, if you're looking at who would make a great, like, talking about your amazing best friend, when you were younger, how did you guys resolve conflict when you had it?
Actually, it's cool because just this weekend I was having a conversation about the most powerful thing in the world, which is love.
Yeah,
love. And then I was telling that person, if you really love someone and you have issues with that person, will be your priority just to talk and solve the issue, because you know that if you don't solve that situation, probably saying apologies, saying I'm sorry, it won't happen again. Yeah. Either part, if they love, if mutual, they will know that they have to solve that in order to keep seeing each other. So to me, that's the main thing, how much you love the other person, how much the other person loves you. Yeah. And love can mean a lot of things, like having time together, sharing time. And if somebody really loves you, that person, it would be nothing to say apology and sorry, won't happen again. Or you saying, I feel like since that day, you're a little bit different with me. Yes. I think I did something wrong. Yeah. If I did, which I think I did, can you accept my apologies?
Yeah, that's so good.
But everything is surrounded by love.
Yes.
I
love that.
So good.
God, that's so. You're like on fire today.
I know, Carlos. Carlos brought his A game today.
Carlos did. Like he brought
it's
the
true.
I
mean, we didn't really talk about love, but it's true.
Yeah, I think since this movie, I saw this movie Interstellar. The guy says the love can go.
Movie?
Interstellar.
Interstellar.
Oh, I thought Interstellar.
That's what he said.
That movie that they say something about.
I just want you guys to know, like, I love you guys. You're my besties, and also I'm your translator.
She is.
Yeah.
That's okay, Carlos. We have our own language. We understand each other.
You guys too.
We got it.
But I think that everything is,
You do understand.
And then Priya translate for us.
No, you know what? I love that you said that because
it's very good.
Because love is like that, the very heart of what it is. Nan and I have had very few hard moments, and understanding each other is how we navigated through them.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about one in which somebody had harmed her in the past. And I was like, I was like, I'm totally not going. Like, I'm not going, and don't expect me to be chatty with that person who was going to be at this thing.
Yeah.
And it created this like hot moment. It was like this thing. It was kind of like Clash of the Titans for a second.
Yeah.
And within seconds, Nan looked at me and said, I know how much you love me and how protective you are of me. I'm asking you not to judge that person or be unkind to them for me. And that's all it took was like,
Okay.
yeah, okay, you're right. And I said, you know what? You're totally right. And I have to work on that. So speaking the truth with love and then knowing that that person loves me enough to correct the way I was responding, because I am harder in some ways. And I do have to be mindful and cautious that, you know, my knowledge or my loyalty towards you won't blind me, and it won't ruin my testimony. It won't holding a grudge is it's not the ideal way to prove, hey, I worship this amazing God. His name is Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Also, I hold a grudge. Like, that's one of the things I have to work on not doing.
I always remind her of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like,
she's doing better, but I just didn't. I think that if it causes you to miss out on something spectacular or moments that we won't forget, you won't do it because of that. Yeah. And I'm like, you can't let that get in the way. But if I can get past it,
that's it. That was the key.
Yeah.
And so that was actually a really good moment. It was like a friendship building moment. I mean, we're soul sisters. We're like,
we are.
Like, even,
and you're amazing, Pri. I'm very lucky. I mean, blessing from God. We always thank God for each other. We really do.
Yeah,
we really do. It's very special.
And
we thank God for you too, Carlos. Now that you've come into our life,
she said that as an afterthought.
You're a later friend. We love you.
She really doesn't mean that.
You're very special.
She totally didn't.
Yes,
mean that.
you're special.
No, she does. She does mean it. Okay, so
but yes, so you know, I just didn't want you to miss out. Yeah. But I do.
Yeah, but it was a good correction for me. So that's part of being like being a good friend means taking correction and trusting, you know, this woman loves me and wants the best for me, just like we love you and want the best for you.
Sure.
That's the way true best friends, the family who you choose, those kinds of friends,
right.
Those you're looking out for and you want the best for. And if it means correcting them, well, that's okay too.
Yes.
You have to have built something significant over the course of time to be able to make those corrections. You know, or even yesterday we were talking about something and I was like, I just want you to look at it from this perspective. And Nanny was able to say, yeah, you know what? I didn't think of that. So, love really is the number one element.
Answer.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, like, let's get back to humor. Like, having the same sense of humor is kind of critical.
Right. Because if we don't, like, Pri and I will dance like around the counter. We have like this dance. It's like celebration dance, a victory dance. It's so crazy. We just dance around the counter. We chase each other.
We do. It's so funny. It's so weird, but
funny. I love it. I love to be silly. You know, I love to be silly. I do. I love to be silly. And I do, you know, like talking about like me giving second chances. I'm not a pushover. Let me just say that right now.
Nobody thinks you're a pushover.
Well, I'm just letting everybody know. Like I am not a pushover, but I do give a second chance. And then after the second chance, it's usually history.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's just the difference between us. But we have a lot. We have the same values. That would probably be the only thing. Well, maybe a couple, but not many things that we don't like. That would be one of the biggest things is that where I'm always like, you can't hold a grudge. You got to, you know, we have to not.
But also like give them a second chance, like
in
that
a
kind
sense,
of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a second chance.
Yeah.
It's fair. I think it's fair. But more than that, it's not.
No. After second, no, I'm sorry.
I just want to say for the record, I'm usually right.
Oh, please.
Yeah, you know it.
Don't even go there. I was going to ask you, in what circumstance? Bring it up. Tell me what time, but we won't go there. Well, let's just say it's 50-50.
If we go there, we won't come back.
I give myself much better odds than that, but that's for another podcast.
But yeah, sense of humor is huge.
Yes.
You got to have the same sense of humor.
Yeah, you do. You do have to have the same sense of humor.
Well, sometimes you think, sometimes you're like, you're appalling.
Yeah. Really?
She'll tell me.
Like,
Really? You have to go there?
Too?
Do you really have to go there?
I
She'll
said,
say.
you didn't have to say that. That's what I
my
said.
gosh.
I said, you didn't have to say that thing.
Oh, it's so funny.
Because you know it's disgusting.
It was
to me.
hilarious. I'm like, it's so funny. She's like, there's
It's not funny. It's not funny.
no humor in that.
Yeah. Yeah. And another friend of mine will say, hey, I have to send you this picture. And I'll go, do not send me the picture. Do not freaking send me that picture. And they'll send me a picture and I'll go, I'm so mad at you for sending me the picture.
And there's sometimes I'm like, just look at this. Just look. And she's like, I don't want to look. I'm like, yes, look.
No, I'm not looking. That's
like,
what
why?
I say.
Why do you want to do it? It kind of, I torture her sometimes. Hey, see, good friends
torture each other.
Torture each other. And they love it.
Number 17.
Okay.
Good friends torture each other, said no one.
Torture
ever.
each other in love.
Yeah, with love.
With love.
Willingly.
This is devolving.
Okay,
Let's get back on track.
All right.
Back on track. Okay. So now what we've done is we've sort of isolated how to not necessarily pick good friends, but to recognize like somebody's friendship potential and capacity. And time does that. Being together does that. And listening. When someone tells you who they are, believe what they say. And then what we talked a little bit about was like recognizing your qualities in that person, being a great friend to have great friends, you know, best friends. You have to be a best friend in order to have a best friend first. You have to be a best friend first. And then what else have we sort of gone over? Let's then move on to you meet somebody, you click. How do you build a friendship? So for all of you who are thinking, well, I don't have those friends yet, what we want to talk about a little bit now is how you build friendships and how you turn them into something magnificent. What's your wisdom on that?
It's time. You got to spend time together. That's number one.
Yeah.
Because if you don't spend time together, you can't build it.
Yes.
Like, you know,
yes.
You have to, like Carlos was saying, even like long distance, it's hard, you know, on the phone, you can't really build. I mean, you can, but I think you got to spend time together.
Right. That's a big deal.
That would be my number one.
Spend time together. Okay. How else do you build friendships, Carlos?
A big plus sometimes for me is when I share time with somebody else and I see that they can make me a better person somehow.
Yeah.
That's a big plus, and that like turn on my the sirens like whoa, you know.
Yeah.
And you have to be very aware of what's going on in your life and everything, the surroundings.
Right.
And pretty much that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brings out
but how do you build it? So time.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I found a really kind of a cool list on a website. It's kind of rando how I found it, but it's called flashpack.com. And it's about like traveling, like it's like a travel club, which I just stumbled across it. I mean, I think AI actually led me to it. But they said how to build friendships. And they had 7 things that people do that build a friendship. There are 7 little building blocks to building like a friendship that will stand the test of time and be a great friendship. One, what does it say? I can't read anything. Oh, I can read my print now. I can't tell whether this is like an eye vision problem or my writing. No, it's saying accept the invitation. That's number 1. Like every friendship starts with, like for you and me, our friendship started with your husband being like, you would love my wife.
Right.
You would love my wife. Well, for a long, long time, I was like, oh, no thanks. And then as I got to know him, I was like, I think I would love his wife.
Yeah.
And I accepted his invitation to introduce the two of us. So you accept the invitation. Number 2 is return the favor. So say you invite me to lunch, then me saying, hey, let me take you to lunch. Like that's the next step, right? Return the favor. Number 3 is be open. Number 4 is show interest. This is really interesting because a lot of times people are in a friendship to talk about themselves. That's how you know that person cannot be your friend, because the only thing you guys talk about is, and sometimes just take, like I'm saying this to our audience, like take a breath and listen to the flow of conversation. Is that person talking the entire time about themselves? They can't be a good friend. But in here, it's saying how you build a friendship is by showing interest, listening to them, and saying, "So, tell me about you. What's going on with you?" Number 5, small acts of kindness to each other. Number 6, schedule regular hangouts. And number 7, stay in touch. So those are 7 small ways that you can build friendship. Just those individual little tiny organic ways where you can turn that friendship into something really significant over the course of time. If you are like, if they're your tribe, if they're your people.
Your match.
So that's all good. Those are all good little points. But at the end of the day, it's just all about spending time together.
It is.
But those are good, like
ways to do
while
that.
you're spending time together. So spending time together is the big picture.
Right.
But those are little techniques and things that you can work on as you spend time with someone.
Correct. That is how you build a friendship.
Yeah.
And that's actually, you've just distilled it. It's time.
It's time.
Time and proximity.
Yeah. And those little things like that, like, you know, learning how to listen and, you know,
showing interest,
returning
the favor,
right?
Those
Calling
kinds of
that person
things,
back, saying, "Hey, you want to go to lunch? You invited me to lunch." Like those are all great.
Yeah.
There's a good. And then I think in that time frame of all those things, you'll find out if that person is that
correct
person that you can truly be friends with.
Correct. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great tool.
Yeah,
it's a
that
great
was.
tool.
I thought, you know, a lot of times, this is the interesting thing about being a grown up, being an adult. Like, there's no book. There's no like, here's how you be a good friend.
Right.
Here's how you pick a good friend. Here's how you pick out that someone's a toxic person and you don't want to invite them in your life. So much of our lives are trial and error. I mean, that's what this podcast is about, is where we've made mistakes or where we've made change in our life that we want to share with everybody. That's the most compelling reason to even podcast, is to share your experience, so that for anyone who's watching us and listening and feeling the loss of, I don't have those kinds of friendships. I want that kind of friendship. Here are some of the little things that you can do to achieve that and to find a different way and a better way, because there is no manual about being a grown up.
No, and another thing too, like as we did about toxic people last week too, I think you also will know the difference. So if you leave, let's say you're with this person, you leave and you're anxious, you're not happy, you're depressed, I don't know, all these negative feelings after you leave being with this person. And then when you leave being with the person and you're like, oh, you're full of joy and peace and you had a great time and you just feel rejuvenated, or you just, you know, then you know too, like, okay, well, this person, oh my gosh, I've been there. I don't know how many times I'm like, I'm so drained. I'm exhausted. Like you said, you know, it's exhausting. But then when you're with someone, you're like, oh, that was great. We had such a great time. So much great energy. We connected. I feel good.
Yes.
Then you know, it's kind of like it's a sign. Like it's telling you this person, my gosh, all they did was talk about themselves, negative, or they talked about other people, like you were saying. Like, I can't stand, I sit there and you're like, because doesn't it say in the Bible too, it's kind of like the same thing, out of their mouth, your heart speaks, or something like that? I forget. It's something about.
I forget the scripture.
So, and it's basically like what you said about if someone shows you who they are, believe them. Carlos.
Oh.
If someone shows you who they are, believe them. So that's like kind of the same thing. But anyway, I'm just saying, if you leave a person after spending time with that person
huge.
And you feel icky, I think we said that last time. Go the other way. But if you feel great and you're like, wow, that was amazing. Like, you know, like the first time we spent time together and we sat in the car for another hour talking.
I know.
It was fantastic.
It was.
You know?
It was so good. That was so long ago now.
Carlos said, how about you? How did you feel when you first met me, Carlos, huh? Like because you and I connected first. I felt like this guy, I like him.
He could be a friend.
Do you want me to tell you the truth?
Yeah, the truth. Nothing but the truth.
No, when I it's funny because when you're having fun with someone, sometimes you begin to talk, and then when you realize, oh, it's been 4 hours.
Yes, exactly.
That happened to Priya and me several times as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
Yes. Time goes,
don't even,
it's true.
Yes.
It's like when my son was whining why the weekends have to end so fast?
Perfect, yes.
I told him, hey, Sam, that's something you will learn eventually. When
That's such a good example.
When you're having fun, time goes flying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's how we felt about you. Like the first time I met, and I told Pri, I said, Pri, you got to meet Carlos. He's a great guy. Like you're really going to connect.
Well,
with
what
him.
you said was, I really think he could be a really good friend of ours.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, of course, like then I'm the skeptic. And I was like, let's see, I'll let you know. And then I met you and I was like, what a quality person.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
That's what I said.
It's been a while, yeah.
So that's a good example of getting to know somebody and being like, giving you a chance. And you know what I'm saying?
If you are sharing time with someone and you checking the cell phone, your watch, how many minutes I have left? Oh, I have to leave.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been 30 minutes. It's been 20 minutes so far.
Yes.
Then you're not having fun. Maybe, who knows?
Or how about when you're, and I do this, I'm so guilty. I could be looking at you and I'm so checked out.
But I just said that you were like so mindful in friendship.
I am. I'm talking about not a friend. I'm talking about somebody like an acquaintance that I'm getting to know, or I'm just I haven't seen a friend. And they're talking all about themselves.
Wait.
And I'm like,
you
where
have
am
to
I?
share this story.
Of what?
What you did, Nancy.
This has to do with knowing someone's not going to be your best friend. When you were at that party, the woman was talking about.
Real quick.
Tell the story.
Okay,
Tell
so
the
real
story
fast because I know we're
Yeah.
at time.
Yeah,
so
we're almost out of time.
I was at an event with my husband, and there was a acquaintance there, and we're talking, and she was feeling well. She was feeling good.
No, you got to be a little more direct about
She
that.
had a few glasses of wine.
She was loaded.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, she was just telling a story that she does a lot of things alone, right?
Yes,
so
that's
what
what
it
it
was.
was.
And then I said to her, well, we should go to lunch sometime. And she goes, oh, well, I'm really, really busy. And I really don't have a lot of time to do, to do anything. And I looked at her, I go,
Wow.
Okay. And I said, well, and she was, like I said, she was feeling well. She had a few drinks.
Yeah.
She was drunk, like Priya would say. So I was like, okay. And I said, well, after a while, we kept on going on with this. And I said to her, well, you know what? I really was just being nice. And I really don't want to go to lunch. I said, but I'm just being really nice because, that's you, Priya, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
So.
And so she says, so she was like laughing, like, oh my gosh, she was just like, 'cause she was feeling drunk, And then it just kind of went through the night. And at the end, I said to her, I forgot what I said to her. And she said something about, not having time to have lunch. And I said, but seriously, we don't have to go to lunch. I said, I was just being nice. So then she said something to me. Well, you can take my number if you want, take my number. I go, well, I don't have my phone. And she goes, oh, well, then that means I have to take your number. And so then I have to call you. Then I'm responsible to call. And I go, then I was like, seriously, we don't have to go to lunch. I'm just being nice. I'm thinking in my mind, I ain't hanging out with you.
You said, I don't want to go to lunch with you. I was just being nice. That was final word.
If something like that happens to me,
it was so
I would be
crazy.
like, what? Like in my mind, like, what are you supposed to say?
But no, I was fine with it because I was kind of rolling with it because she was feeling, she was drunk. She was drunk, but it was so funny at the end. Then I started getting like I'm like, okay, I really don't want to go to lunch. I'm just being nice to you. Okay. And I'm thinking in my mind, I'm just saying what everybody wants to say when they ask somebody to go to lunch and they don't want to go to lunch.
I still laugh like it's the first time I heard it. And let me just say for the record, in the story, the original story, she was feeling sorry for herself. I know you don't remember that part, but I'm telling you, she told you she was like feeling lonely. She was feeling sorry for herself.
I
and
probably
that's
portrayed that. Yeah. And so I'm like, well, hey, we should go to lunch. It was just
because you were so kind.
But at the end, I was like, I'm not going to lunch.
Anyway, that's a story of someone who you like. Nan does not need that kind of friendship. And I think that's it's a true story.
Yeah.
It did happen that way.
But that's so
and
funny.
everybody, Nanny did say the thing that everybody thinks. But I was like, respect for you.
Yeah, because you know how times you're like, did I really want to go? I really didn't want to go, but I made plans. But I was like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to say it. I really don't want to go. You know,
I only asked you. She looked at her straight at her and she
she's
goes,
being kind. She's
I
being
only
nice.
asked you because I was being nice to
Yeah.
you. I don't want to go to lunch with you.
But she's like, oh my gosh. Yeah. She's like, oh my gosh, I can't, you know, she was so funny. I was like, okay, anyway. But yeah, needless to say, she never called.
Yes, she didn't. And I'm glad you
Mission
didn't call
accomplished.
her.
No, because I knew right. I was like, this, you know. But you know what? My fault. I should have never said, let's go to lunch. Lesson learned.
Well, when Nan told me the story originally, Carlos, I looked at her and I said, and that's your problem.
Yes, yes.
And she goes, what? And I was like, that you would ask someone out to lunch because you feel sorry for them. They immediately have identified themselves as not a match. They are not like
we weren't
like family by choice friends.
no. I already knew. You're right.
Yeah, but she was kind.
Yeah,
I was being kind.
She said to me at the time, she goes, you're mean. And I was like, I am. I'm so mean and I have zero interest.
Something like that happens to me not long ago. But what's funny because I go to this meeting, you know, we talk for about an hour or something. And I was trying to be nice. And I said, we should do this later on. You know, we should repeat this. But I really didn't mean it.
Yes.
And then right there, the other person had me to schedule when.
And you're like, damn it. What did I do?
And I was just being polite. And
That's what happens, Carlos.
But you didn't say it. She actually said it. I really don't want to go with you.
I loved it. It felt really good.
What could I do? I let him to do the schedule. Yeah.
Did you go?
Of course he did, with a smile on his face.
It's coming.
Oh.
It's coming.
And he's going to do it with a smile.
Because okay, I did it. By similar, but no.
Yeah, you did, because that person wasn't drunk. If the person was drunk, you could have done it easy.
But the lesson, as Pia said,
oh my God.
Lesson learned.
Lesson learned.
Trust me, I've learned that. That taught me a lesson.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to do things I don't want to do.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah.
That's another podcast obligation.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be a good one.
Good one.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I want to leave the conversation. I want to start closing the conversation because we're running out of time.
Yeah.
But I want to say that I forgot the name of this website. Hold on a second. I'm going to tell you right now. It's yourtango.com. I don't even know. I think it's like self-help. I don't know. I just found it randomly. But the woman who is writing this, her name is Sharon Livingston, MD. She wrote this article about friendships and being in deep, close personal relationship with people, like, you know, friendships, family by choice friends, like, you know, like the true deal. And she said, in a study of dementia in elderly women, researchers found that, quote, larger social networks have a protective influence on cognitive function among elderly women. So, and then in another one it said, and yet another study conducted by neuroscientists at Ohio State University found that social interaction can potentially decrease pain and increase recovery time in patients dealing with physical pain. Finding a ride or die friend can be difficult, but when you do come across someone you naturally click with, there are certain qualities they should have that indicate they're not only in it for the long run, but that they are a truly incredible friend. And the rest of the article was about those qualities and what makes somebody like a truly amazing friend. And I would say that friends are a gift from God. So just kind of going around the circle, and I'll close. But what would you like to say? The last thing that you would want anyone to hear in this podcast about, like, you know, the final word on friendships and how you feel about them, or how to make them, whatever the wisdom is. What would you share?
I would say be a good friend first.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't expect people to be a good friend to you when you're not a good friend to them.
Yeah.
So be that friend that you want them to be to you.
Yes.
That would be.
Excellent. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Carlos, final words on friendship.
Yeah, as we said before, surround yourself with people who actually bring the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
Love that. It's so good. And mine are that friends are a special gift from the Lord. They are truly a gift. They should be treated that way and treasured as such. And no day on earth is promised to us.
Right.
So enjoying loving that friend, enjoying that friendship, spending that time, doing the things that build the friendship. When you find that person or people in your life, treasure them and enjoy them and thank God for them. And just tell God, thank you, bless my friendship. Help me grow this friendship. Help me become a better friend. Ask the Lord for those things and he will give them to you because he wants us to connect with other people. No man is an island. No one should do life alone. Even like there's some special people who don't need friends, but friends are like the diamonds of life to me. They're like the special rare thing. So I just want to encourage you, anyone who's watching or who's thinking, I need those friendships, ask God for them. Pray to the Lord. Ask him for those friendships and he will give them to you because they are a gift. They're a good gift from the Lord. So that's the final word that I have on friendships and friends, family by choice, hashtag family by choice. Nanny, do you want to close us?
Sure. Remember to take things lightly while doing life deeply.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah. We love you guys and we look forward to seeing you again. And thank you for joining us. Oh, wait, one more thing before you say bye. Okay. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can find us there or on our YouTube channel, Gratitude and Attitude Podcast on YouTube, or on our website, gratitudeandattitude.life. Yeah. So find us and follow us if we've said anything that matters or that's helped you in any way, shape, or form. Like and subscribe. And we're just so happy that you're joining us. We really hope that we'll continue to bring you wisdom that will help you do life. As Nan always says,
take things lightly while doing life deeply.
She does it better than me. No, anyway, we love you guys. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.